Good morning, Lighthouse Community Church. My name is Pastor Neil. I am very excited to be able to share with you this morning. Pastor Andy was, thank you, Lori. When Pastor Andy was discussing what topics we should do, or I should do, he gave me a few options. And for some reason, I said, I'd like to do this one, but I can't do it the week that you have it scheduled. So can we move it that week? He said, sure. And then God worked things out in some incredible ways that way. So it's amazing how God works. We just finished a section on love, and we're working on hope today. Now, hope is one of those elements that can be really hard to define. I mean, hope is this thing that we all have, and yet it's so vague. It's just big, and where do you even start on it? I actually started in Hebrews 11, where it talks about faith. And the writer of Hebrews says, now faith is the assurance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen, which is great. But in there, I found that faith is the assurance of things hoped for. I said, cool. So faith is what we hope for, and we're sure of what we hope for. But what is hope? It didn't really define hope very well for me. So I went to some other locations to look at, well, what is hope? Another one said that hope is the assurance, hope, wow, I really moved in those notes. Hope is the expectation and desire of a specific thing to happen. The expectation and desire for a specific thing to happen. So here's some things where we see hope. Hope is what we see in children on Christmas morning when they ask for a specific toy. All right? They're sure it's in there. There's an expectation that that toy's in there, and they really want it. And then they open it up, and it's socks. That's right. Didn't work out so well there. But hope is when children are waiting for their parents to return home from work. Or when a child is hoping two parents will reconcile and come back together. Hope is when parents are waiting for a child to be born or for their child to return to or come to know Jesus. Young women hope when they're hoping for that special young man to propose. And the young man is hoping when he hopes that young woman says yes. Longest 2 minutes of my life. You know, John Maxwell, he actually wrote something on this. He said, think on these things. He wrote it this way: hope shines brightest when the hour is darkest. Hope motivates when discouragement comes. Hope energizes when the body is tired. Hope sweetens while the bitterness bites. Hope sings when all melodies are gone. Hope believes when evidence is eliminated. Hope listens for answers when no one is talking. Hope climbs over obstacles when no one is helping. Hope endures hardship when no one is caring. Hope smiles confidently when no one is laughing. Hope reaches for answers when no one is asking. Hope presses toward victory when no one is encouraging. Hope dares to give when no one is sharing. Hope brings the victory when no one is winning. You know, it's as vague as hope is intertwined in so many elements of our life. So many elements revolve around hope, including when you see the lights in your rearview mirror. You hope they go past you. But biblically speaking, here in Hebrews, he's talking about something a little bit different. It isn't just an expectation and desire. It's ratchet up a notch. So the hope that we're talking about is actually taking that next level. It's a strong, confident expectation. Now you're like, what's the difference, okay? Well, they're both expectations. They're both desire. Well, you know it's going to happen. The one is you really hope it's going to happen, or you really think it's going to happen. I'm expecting it to happen, but maybe it won't. Versus what we're talking about is a strong, confident expectation. It is going to happen. You don't know when, you don't know where, but it will happen. Okay? So it's just that next level up. ratcheting that thing up just a little bit here. We hope all the time. We constantly are hoping. And so many times our hope is dashed. It doesn't work out. And it becomes a little harder to hope the next time. Have you guys been familiar with that? You've prayed, you've prayed, you've prayed, you've prayed, and you're like, God's going to work out. He says it's going to happen, and then it doesn't. And you're like, wait a second. What am I supposed to do? Where does the strength come from that we're supposed to have? You see, hope is powerful, and it's also fragile. It's fragile because it's vague, partially. We have things in our own minds the way they should happen, and we're expecting it to happen, and when they don't happen that way, hope breaks a little bit. It's fragile because our expectations aren't met, and life seems to be crushing and crashing down all around us. Life just seems to squeeze and squeeze and squeeze. And as we look out and we see other people and what they're living in and around, it doesn't seem right, but there doesn't seem to be a way to fix it. And it breaks down hope. How can you hope for something greater when all that you see are things broken? How can you expect something better to occur when everything around is in pieces? It's fragile because our hope is based on something weak or unloyal. Hope is powerful, though. It's powerful because it removes the blinder from fear and despair. When you're in that point where it can't get any lower, it removes the blinders of fear and despair. When I was littler, we used to do yard work for a lady, and she would give us preseason football tickets because they didn't like to go to the preseason games, and I thought that was crazy because I got to go see football in the big Mile High Stadium before they tore it down. That's right, Chiefs fans. I'm a Bronco fan, and I used to watch, and I used to watch the plays on the field, and after a while, we would be down, like normal. We'd be losing in the fourth quarter, and the seats would start to clear out. And there would be traffic jams, and my dad would be like, no, just wait. And I'm thinking he just doesn't want to get caught in the traffic jam. I'm like, Dad, if we hurry, then we don't have to wait forever in the car. He's like, no, just wait. Just wait. You see, we had this quarterback that could turn the game around in the last 2 minutes. And it was amazing through the years as I watched, he did it over and over and over and over again. So when people are leaving, their hope is broken, we got 5 minutes left to play, I'm going, where are you going? The game's just getting good. We got 2 minutes left. Not only can we win, we can win by a touchdown. This will be great. You see, hope depends on what your hope is based off of. Now, hoping on a quarterback is not a good place to put your hope, all right? But it's powerful. It's powerful. It keeps us in our seats when it's really cold out. It helps people who are in prison overseas live through things they couldn't normally go through because hope is there. It allows us to live with abandon. Have you ever seen a little kid jump into a pool into their dad's arms sometimes, their mom's arms, and they just jump like, whoa, just going, and the dad's like, oh, please, Lord, let me catch him. Because he hopes, he has a strong expectation that something will occur. It gives you the ability to live with abandon. The problem is hope's power is limited to that which hope is based on. Hope's power is based on hope's source. Hope's power is based on hope's source. So when the little kid is jumping into the arms of their mom or dad, or someone they trust, their hope is in that person. When I was watching the football game, saying, oh, we can still win this in 2 minutes, my hope was in that person. Now, my hope is only as strong, or that little kid's hope is only as strong as that person is. And we all know that there's a lot of breakdown when it comes to that person, especially when that person is us. So, what's the source of your hope? Now, I'm not talking about like your hope right now, but I'm just talking your everyday hope. What do you put your hope in? We have things like love. Love is a common one. I hope in love. Peace, world peace, that kind of stuff. It's very, very popular. Mental prowess. I am very smart. I place my hope in the ability to think. Karma. I do good things, so good things will happen to me. Religiousness. I'm a good person, and I do the good things, and God owes me. The government. The government will take care of me. Relationships, whether they're boyfriend, girlfriend, family, spouse, friends. These are all things that are very common to put our hope in. And then, which we're going to talk about today, is our hope in Jesus. So how powerful is your hope? If you put your hope in relationships, then relationships will let you down, or you'll be betrayed. I don't know if you've experienced this. I'm pretty sure you have. Someone has let you down. A friend's let you down. A boyfriend, girlfriend, a spouse. It didn't work out like you were hoping it would. Love, people running off after love are often scarred from it. It leaves with deep scars. The government generally only wants to talk to you when they want something, so that's not always a good one. Karma, at the best, it's unknowable, and at worst, it's a man-made construct. You could hope in yourself, but you always end up where your problems are. I don't know if you've ever seen that. Religiosity is crushing, and we all know that we miss the mark. Peace can be driven out, external peace. Romance may never happen, and sometimes we wish it wouldn't. Jesus is the one hope that never fails. Jesus is the one hope that through it all stays strong. Now I can hear you saying, now wait a second, I've asked for a lot of things that were very reasonable, and he didn't pull through. I've staked my hope that he would do something big, and he didn't do anything about it. Jesus isn't resigned to our expectations. But let's look at the power of God first. How powerful is a hope based on God? Flip real quick over to Psalms, the book of Psalms. And this is incredible. Let's just go ahead and take a look at it. Psalms 33, verse 16 to 22. The writer says it this way: the king is not saved by his great army. A warrior is not delivered by his great strength. The war horse is a false hope of salvation, and by its might it cannot rescue. Behold, the eye of the Lord is on those who fear him, on those who hope in his steadfast love, that they may deliver their soul from death and keep them alive in famine. Our soul waits for the Lord. He is our help and our shield. For our heart is glad in him, because we trust in his holy name. Let your steadfast love, O Lord, be upon us, even as we hope in you. There's all these external hopes that the psalmist talks about here. You've got an army for a king. Yeah, I can see putting a faith in an army. I got all these dudes that will give their life to fight for me. Sweet, I'm good. But then along comes a guy with a bigger army or better equipment. Okay, the warrior is not delivered by his great strength. It's not us. We put our own faith in ourselves so much. The war horse is a false hope of salvation. The tanks, the airplanes, the computer hacking abilities, whatever it is a false hope of salvation. There's always something better out there, and God can take hailstones and turn them into missiles. You see, hope is found in God, who has the utmost power and ability. Over in Isaiah, we're going to turn over to Isaiah 40, where we're going to stay for the rest of the day. In Isaiah, it's amazing. We're going to see here that the people of Isaiah were trying to get what they felt they deserved. It's basically like us saying, I tried to trust in you, and you didn't do what I wanted you to do, and it's deserved to me. And we're going to see here that they tried to do that, and God's like, whoa, I don't know who you think you are. I am the power. I am the strength. And here's what I do for that. So we're going to end with this. Hope's power source is based on that hope. And let's take a look at how strong that power source is. Verse 27, why do you say, O Jacob, and speak, O Israel, my way is hidden from the Lord, and my right is disregarded by my God? I mean, do you not hear? I hear myself in there a little bit. God can't really see what I'm doing, and what is owed me, God's not giving me. Can you see yourself in there a little bit? I really deserve this. So I'm going to go get it for myself because my hope has been crushed. My hope has been broken. And here's what God says, verse 28, have you not known? Have you not heard? The Lord is the everlasting God, the creator of the ends of the earth. He does not faint or grow weary. His understanding is unsearchable. He gives power to the faint, and to those who have no might, he increases strength. How powerful is God? God is the one who created the universe. Who created the universe from nothing. That's pretty powerful. He's the one that spoke each item into being. So you're talking about the dry land, the water, the light. We're talking about the animals. We're talking about the trees. And then yet, when it comes to people, he molds people out of dirt. He's like, let's make man in our own image. And he molds man out of dirt. Now, I'm not that good of an artist. But take any of us and say, okay, we're going to layer by layer mold somebody out of dirt. That's impressive. Then to breathe life into that person is able to walk around and interact. See, God is ultimately power. And when we place our hope in God, we have the ultimate power source. Because there is no one bigger than God. There is no one who cares more than God. He does not faint or grow weary. He never gets tired. He never takes a nap because he wants to. He is everlasting. He's not going away. There won't be a power shift. God is eternal and always there. Okay, so God's powerful, but is he trustworthy? You know, if we've ever put our faith in people or our hope in people, we're going along and we think everything's happening right, and then all of a sudden there they go, and we're left behind, and hope's just, they did not take care of us. They did not look out for us. Is he trustworthy? Is he going to break our heart like it so often happened? You know, Peter actually says that God is not slow, as some consider slowness. You know, we're like, God, you're taking forever. Yeah, I feel that way a lot, by the way. Come on, let's move. Let's move. Let's move. But you know what? God works at his pace, and the pace is always correct. It's amazing how he lines things up when things are ready. I like to talk to teenagers, and when they're really just, they want that boyfriend or the girlfriend or that person that they can have that interaction with. and tell them, look, the person that's right for you might not even know Jesus yet. Timing is everything. Lining things up. Let's say you meet that perfect person in middle school. Are you guys going to get married? I would highly doubt it. Should you? Not in middle school. Timing is really important. You see, God works things in timing. And for us, with our limited 70 to 100 years, we're going, you're taking forever. I have this little tiny life, and yet God knows what's happening. He is powerful, and He is on time. Not before and not late. He can't lie. Paul, writing a letter to Titus, says that God cannot lie. So when God says He's going to do something, He's going to do it. If He says He loves you, He loves you. If He says He's not slow, as we consider slow, He's not slow. If He says that He's going to look after you, that He is worth having our hope placed in Him, then our hope is worth having placed in Him. He cannot lie. Ultimately, He has the ultimate love because He sent His own Son. His Son gave His own life for us. That is ultimate love. None of us have had to do it. None of us have necessarily probably seen it done. But because He loved us while we hated Him, He gave His life to us. You see, God is ultimately powerful, and He is ultimately worthy of our trust. So hope in God and His power brings true strength. Hope in God and His power brings true strength. The strong, confident expectation. So let's keep going in Isaiah 40 here. Verse 29, He gives power to the faint, and him who has no might He increases strength. Even youth shall faint and be weary, and young men shall fall exhausted. But they who wait in the Lord will renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not be faint. Wow. What's the key of all this? What's the key in this Isaiah passage? The key is the word wait. I was just talking to someone this morning, and they told me that patience is a virtue. It's a virtue that I don't possess. I hate to wait. Waiting, that's why we have microwaves. And I don't like to wait for the microwave. I'm amazed at how computers are so much faster than when I first got into them, and yet they still have load bars. That little bar that goes across the screen, or the little circle that tells me it's stop thinking and go. I'm already there. Why aren't you? I don't like to wait. I don't like to wait at all. My wife is so amazing. She has 3 kids to get ready. And I get dressed. I'm like, okay, why am I waiting? Let's go. But she constantly is getting the kids ready. And like, oh yeah, that's right. I have 3 kids to get ready. So I go and I help her. But that's not my first thought. My first thought is, all right, my coat's on. My shoes are on. Why are we not in the car? You see, we don't like to wait. And yet, Isaiah, who I believe is being told by the Lord here, saying, they who wait on the Lord shall renew their strength. Not those who rush out. Those who wait on the Lord, those who place their hope on the Lord, will renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. Those are some sweet wings. I don't know where I'd keep them under a jacket. But that's just, imagine the power of that. Have you ever seen a huge bird just coasting on the giraffes up and down? They're just kind of staying there. Wow. They shall run and not be weary. I don't like to run. I get weary. And yet God says, I will make it so when you're running through life, you can keep going. They shall walk and not faint. The key is, guys, that when we hope on God and His power, we have true strength. When we hope on God and His power, we are waiting on Him. We are waiting and saying, God, when is the right time? We are getting things together and saying, God, what do you want me to do here? I have my calendar lined out. I once had a guy who told me, we don't bow at the altar of our calendar. We bow at the altar of God. And yet, waiting on Him can be hard. If we wait, as a psalmist said, if we be still, if we cease striving, we'll rise up, we'll walk and not faint, and we'll have true strength. That's the power of hope. That's the power of hope. And hope not placed in ourselves, not placed on a star that we wish upon, not placed on some religious structure, not placed upon other people, but placed upon Jesus Christ Himself. So to go, guys, I want to leave you guys with some things to take with you. Some things to, and they're in your compass there. Some things for you to be able to think about, discuss, interact over, so that when you're ready to work through some of this stuff, it'll be not just something that Pastor Neil says. Don't just take it because Pastor Neil says it. Take it because you've read about it, you've thought about it, you've interacted over it. The bottom line, guys, that we're talking about is hope. A strong, confident expectation in the one true God brings true strength. Number one, guys, identify your source of your current hope. Where is your current hope? Now, really, you're not answering to me. We want an honest, true answer. Where is your hope? Where is it? And if you don't like the answer, that's okay. Just know what the answer is. What can you do if you begin to lose hope? We all go through that from time to time. Life isn't working out. What can you do when you begin to lose hope? What is one way you can begin to hope in God? So you know where your current hope is. Theoretically, it's not in God. How can you begin to align that hope in God? And if you're going, I don't know, it's okay. Spend some time thinking about it. Talk to God about it. Ask someone you trust. This is a great way to do it. Number 4, begin to spend time daily with God by daily reading a psalm and talking with Him. You see, it's amazing how hope grows when we spend time with the one that our hope is based on. The more time we spend with the one our hope is based on, the more our hope shifts to that. Let's pray. Jesus, thank you so much for being the author and perfecter of our faith. Thank you that hope is not based upon us, but it's based upon you. God, we pray that you would allow us to move our hope from whatever we're hoping in to you, and that you would show us the true power that you're speaking of. That you would be our refuge in times of trouble, that you would be our celebration in times that are good. In Jesus' name, amen.